Okay, folks, we're going to get started. Try to keep on time. It's a little after 7 here. Welcome to this lovely day in May, one of the nicest days we've had in a long time. I was outside almost all day with my grandkids, which was fabulous. Um, I usually say this each time. Again, if there's anybody that's new on here, we had quite a few participants signed up. So this is a quick introduction. My name is John Dixon, the president of the Tesla Owners Club Ontario. Welcome to our monthly Zoom chapter meeting. Hopefully one of these days we can get back to how we used to and get together in person and have a sit-down meal and some good chit-chat and guest speakers and whatnot. But this seems to be going quite well. I know, especially for people that are outside of the GTA, and we are going to be looking for solutions to record the meetings or even try to do a live presentation if we ever get to that point. So let's just jump right in. I want to remind you that we're going to be using Pigeonhole again for questions. Now, many of you did submit questions in the RCP form for Lorenzo, who's going to be speaking to us tonight, and I'll be using those questions. But if anything comes up during the presentation that you want to ask him directly, we please ask you to use Pigeonhole. Or if you have any questions for me or about the club, use Pigeonhole. It's a little bit easier than people raising their hand and having to unmute people, etc. So there it is. Just go to pigeonhole.at, and the password is Tesla. I think you have to put your first name in if you want to make put a question in, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But it's a good little app. We use that for the live questions, and you can upvote them or downvote them, etc. As you see other questions that you might think are worth emphasizing, if you will. So let's just move on here. First thing is, I would like to, I'm sure he's blushing right now if I could see him. I'd like to thank very much, we mentioned this in the newsletter, Murray Chamney, who's been with the club, I think, since at least 2015, maybe earlier, who's stepping down as a club executive and the secretary, effective basically now or early next month. We really appreciate everything you've done, Murray, to keep the club organized and volunteer and step up in all kinds of ways, shape, and form. So we're going to miss you for sure. And in the same vein, I would like to welcome Ilya Doronin, who is now our new recording secretary. And Ilya is going to step in and keep track of action items and work with us when we do our monthly executive meetings and work on things behind the scenes. So again, thanks very much, Murray, and welcome, Ilya. I've got to keep track of what I'm doing here. Page down. I always give a little bit of an overview, just what's happening in the growth side of things. We now have 810 dues-paying members, which is great. An increase of 10 just in the last month or so. We are growing in the social media world. Twitter's up a little over 100 followers. Facebook is up, whatever that is, 8 or something like that. Normally, Facebook follows the increase in members because the Facebook group is, if you remember, most of the people that are on this call, if you're in Facebook or be in the official club. And Instagram as well has grown a little bit. And we do think the main thing there is it's helping us get our club information out into the public domain. And we've converted people who were Tesla owners and weren't aware that we were out there. And I know that we see that in the when we ask people questions, how they heard about the club. So the other thing is we're definitely seeing people hear about the club when they're out at the service centers because of our information cards and things like that. So wanted to give you that little update. And I always get accused, and I am very remiss at doing this. My slides always have the sponsors on at the end, and I forget because it has our thank you slide, and I forget to go to the sponsor slide. So I want to thank these sponsors for being on board with the club. Most of them are at the ludicrous level. You can see here the first, I think 4 or 5 here are fairly new sponsors with us. They're in the newsletter. They're on the website. They're in our emails all the time, and you can click through to their companies and learn more about them. We continue to work with all our sponsors on trying to bring you specific benefits and things would be over and above just their sort of advertising with us, if you will. So thanks to all these sponsors. And I can tell you that a lot of sponsors have renewed with us for the second or third time. So obviously they see value in reaching out to us as a community and working with us together. So again, want to make sure I thank them, and they were able to help us in lots of ways over and above just exposing themselves from a sort of advertising point of view. Tree Canada, again, many of you may have seen this in our social media. We put the sort of the summary and in the newsletter, but just in case you didn't, I want to thank everybody for our campaign contributing to Tree Canada. We exceeded the target. We originally had a $5,000 target, if you will, that we said we would match from club funds, and we exceeded that. We raised $6,175. So the club's going to add our $5,000 to that, and we'll be donating $11,175 to Tree Canada. And basically, that's going to be an area of need. I think it's in Northern Ontario, up near Sudbury, where the mining took place. And every $5 that gets donated plants a tree. So basically, hopefully our math is correct, we're going to be able to pay for 2,235 trees just with that initial donation. So again, thumbs up to everybody that contributed. Really appreciate it. Or anybody that forwarded on our social media posts. And also, we're now, if you will, an official sponsor of Tree Canada, because we'll be donating $5 from each new membership going forward. So I know most of you aren't paying membership fee if you've been with the club over a year, but anybody new that signs on, and next year, as everybody else renews, we're going to put $5 aside from each person's membership dues and continue this sponsorship. So again, thank you very much. Just want to bring you up to speed on the trash bins. Again, as most of you may know, we try to get an initiative going, putting trash bins in at the Tesla Supercharger locations. To my knowledge, we were the first club to be able to do that. We've been in at Grimsby for at least a couple of years now, but we've really struggled. I'm not going to go into all the reasons why and what's transpired, but we've really struggled with Tesla trying to get to the next level. We've identified another 8 or 10 superchargers that we think would be great candidates, are waiting for Tesla to get back to us for landlord information, because the landlord has to approve the trash bin and they have to agree to empty it, which is sort of our model. They've passed me on to somebody down in the States, and we're still plugging away, but it's basically Tesla time times 10 to get them to address that. So what we plan on doing in the meantime is, in the next few days, we're going to be emailing all of our sponsors, and let me just show you a slide there, and we're going to see if our sponsors would like us to put one of these trash bins at their location. So if any of our sponsors are on this Zoom call, please send us an email, even prior to us sending you an email, but we'll supply basically this exact trash bin with our updated logo on it. So really the difference would be the inner part of the circle is going to be removed, and it'll be our newer logo. And we supply the, I think, 100 trash bags. We supply a way to anchor it to a location like it is there onto a post and that type of thing. So we're going to see if we can get more of a reach by doing that. And just to confirm, if you don't know this, we also put it in all of the, other than Ottawa so far, but all of the service centers in Ontario have this. And Daniel, I'm guessing you may be on here, so send me an email and we'll try to arrange to get this organized. If you're down here one of these days, we'll get a trash bin made up and give it to you to send up there, because I know they do have our cards on display. So maybe we can get that, put it in Ottawa as well. So that's it. Believe it or not, that's probably a record for me. Although, sorry, I want to say one other thing, just as a quick aside. Anybody that was on our call last month, we did a great call talking about the climate crisis with Jeremy Thiel and his wife. And basically, one of the things that really surprised me is that all the amount of carbon that's produced basically by mining for Bitcoin in most cases, and that Tesla had bought all this Bitcoin and was taking Bitcoin as a way to pay for your car. Well, a tweet just went out, and I'm not going to bother searching for it, but have a look. One of our, I think Ilya sent us a message through that Elon and Tesla just put a tweet out. They're going to stop accepting Bitcoin as payment, and they're going to be looking for better ways to work with the cryptocurrencies, and they're basically going to stop dealing with that because of the carbon footprint that's generated by producing Bitcoin. So that's a bit of a win, I think, for all of us. And it didn't take long for that to change. But basically, hopefully Lorenzo's on here. We got Lorenzo Escobar, who's the owner of Inception Auto Detailing. Lorenzo's been one of our oldest sponsors. We've worked with him a lot. I've had all my cars done at his shop in Oakville. I'm sure he's going to talk about it because he's moved to a new shop. They're right near Tesla Oakville. But the whole idea was to get him to share with us tips and tricks for doing spring cleaning on your Tesla and answering any questions you have about detailing, tinting, or PPF, et cetera, on your vehicle. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And Lorenzo, where's Lorenzo?
I'm
If you
right
can
here.
go ahead and
John,
do
can you
share
hear
your,
me?
I said, Ken, sir, you should be able to share your screen. We've given you control, I think. So you should be able to jump right in there. And please, oh, there he is. Look at him. Looks like a model.
Well, we're actually in our studio here, so
Nice.
in our second floor. So we actually have a live stream studio here. So this is our the very first time of actually testing our system here, just to see what
Beauty.
things are for calls like this, right? So obviously at the end of the day, I want to make sure we deliver a high quality presentation, and we want to make sure that we actually educate everybody here. And yeah, there's actually quite a good number of questions. I believe there was 31 or
Yep. And I'll go through those with you as well as anything else that comes up. And, people have been bugging me to get back and doing my podcast, which I think I probably will do at some point if I can get my acting gear. So maybe we can use your studio.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. So that's actually geared for that. So we're
Perfect.
definitely going to have a lot of fun here, a lot of educational value as well too. So there was a lot of things that I wanted to actually implement, but I just didn't have the capacity on the previous shop. So now we're actually at a 12,000 square footer shop here, and I believe it's one of the largest shops around here in the GTA. So which was actually really good. So. Okay, and John, can you see the screen that I have here?
I don't see it. Did you share screen? There's a green button on the bottom of your screen. It should say, there you go.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, so okay, I'm gonna go by the screens here. So in terms of the frequently asked questions, so question number one is how long does a ceramic coating last? So for most coatings, it's 5 years, depending on how the vehicle has been maintained. So and at the end of the day, it's how it's been maintained, whether if it's parked outside, how frequent you're actually doing your washing and cleaning up the car, right? But most is 5 years. I know there are some brands or products out there where they say it's permanent, but at the end of the day, nothing is permanent in life. So they do have quite the a lifespan, right? But the average is 5 years for the car. Question number two. Is there anything that enhances the ceramic coating on the car in terms of steps or additional products? So all it is, the point of the ceramic coating is it's more of a wax on drugs, I would say, or on steroids, where it's just designed to last for a long time. In terms of maintenance, you just have to keep your car regularly washed. Any bird droppings, for example, definitely clean them out right away. In Canadian Tire, for the do-it-yourself first, there are a lot of products out there that you can get off the shelf, such as like a quick detailer, even a alcohol 50-50 ratio where you dilute it with water. That's just a general maintenance for that, right? But there's also other products like a ceramic spray, a ceramic booster seal spray that you can actually put on top of the coating to help maintain their longevity for that. Next question. How much for the service of a Model S? So full interior and exterior detailing. So for our packages here, it's called the Level Uno, which you can find the total work breakdown on our website at inceptionautodetailing.com. The package starts at $479.99, but for Tesla Club owners, we do provide a 10% discount for that. Next question: do you provide any services in Ottawa? The question is, unfortunately, not at this time, but we actually do have Ottawa clients coming into our shop to get work done. So there's clients here where they actually pick up their car from Oakville, from the Tesla Oakville, just down the street from us, bring over the car to get some PPF work done. And actually, this is very new this year. We are providing loaner vehicles now. So we do have access to a limited number of Model 3 vehicles. We have two or three right now that we do have readily available. So any clients that like to get work done at our location, we will provide that if required and requested. The interior material used on a Model 3 seat backs and glove box area are so susceptible to scratches. PPF would have been smart 3 years ago, but are there any options or products to treat or minimize the scratches now? Unfortunately, there's not a product that I know that can that can actually protect that, other than those aftermarket products that you can find either on Amazon or other websites, but also on Canadian Tire, where you could strap on those protective coverings at the back. That's the only things that I know for now. Next question. I am installing PPF once restrictions ease. What do I need to do to prep the vehicle before application? So to have a very good install, especially for the ones who would like to do it themselves, number one, make sure that the car is properly washed. Number two, clay bar the areas, and then so it's like a specialized detailing clay where you spray it with a quick detailer or something that provides a lot of slickness on the paint, where it picks up contaminants that you don't see with your naked eye. And after that, number three, the most important is also your work environment. So if you're installing paint protection film on the surface, have a temperature controlled space away from dust, because dust contamination, it's quite prevalent, especially if you're doing it outdoors. So doing it indoors will really minimize it. But at the end of the day, there's no shops or no garages can offer 100% dust-free installation. Any recommendations for paint chip touch-up using Tesla paint touch-up kit? So rather than using the brush that actually comes with it, I would suggest to actually use toothpicks, where you can dab on the actual paint and then just slightly cover in those areas wherever the paint chip is. I've had my Model 3 for about 2 months now. Is it too late to get paint protection film? So at the end of the day, it depends on how much the car was driven when you picked up the car for the first time. So there's cars where I've seen after 1 week where there's already wear and tear on the front bumper, just because the paint protection film, or sorry, just because the paint is not the best to begin with. So they do get chipped quite easily.
Why are you showing us a Chrysler?
Well, we're showing quite a bit of other cars, just to let you know that we do work with quite the variety, not just Tesla, but I would say 80-90% cars that comes to our shop are Tesla cars, and I believe we've done just very close to 1,000 of them. So I do have the actual VIN numbers on each car recorded here. Yeah, so
I'm just giving you the gears, buddy. Don't worry.
Hey, you know what? The Hellcat's a pretty sweet car, and then we actually have one downstairs right now that we're working on. Yeah. So next, what are some good tips protecting the paint and the interior? So definitely number one. Well, in terms of road wear, having the paint protection film is definitely nice to have, but also the ceramic coating. So at the end of the day, it's really dependent on how long you plan on keeping your car, because when it comes to paint protection film, it is quite the investment. And I only suggest it to only get it done if you know hard set that you're going to keep the car for a while. Just because like it doesn't make sense where spend a couple grand on protecting the paint and then sell the car 2-3 years later, or switch to a new one where you won't get the full benefit of it. For the interior, there are aftermarket products you can get, so such as the floor liners. I know Tesla do sell them as accessory. There's the Tux Mat, there's the 3D Max floor mats, there's WeatherTech. Having the floor liners are very nice, especially during wintertime, just because the way they're designed, it actually curves up. So all dirt, salts, and other grime actually just collects on the liners, and it's very easy to clean when you pull them out of the car. Any suggestions for wrapping the shiny Model 3 console? So I know for the 2018 to 2020 models, it is the shiny black plastic. So you can put a paint protection film over it. So XPEL does have computer cuts that actually protects the car's finish on that. But also for the 2021, I know they're matte now. So you can put a film on that as well to protect the finish. So you can either vinyl wrap it. There's probably pattern cuts out there that you can find online. You can also find the pattern cuts for the paint protection film for the ones who would like to do it themselves, or get us, or get one of the other sponsors here as well to do it for you. Next, what is the best spray to use for interior detailing? The one I usually leave small spots on the seats and console. So at the end of the day, a lot of the products are actually really good, especially the ones on the consumer product. So one of the techniques I would suggest for this one, rather than spraying the actual product on the surface of the car, spray it on a microfiber towel first, and then wipe it on one side, and then flip to a dry side to wipe off any excess. And then that's how you can leave the small spots. So those small spots are a bit of the overspray when if you miss a certain spots and then you let the product dry, it does leave those areas there. Well, this is pretty much self-explanatory. You need more information on tinting and PPF. Any recommended place? We're definitely one of the ludicrous sponsors here, and we've been working with John for quite the long time. So if you'd like any information, feel free to actually contact us. Next one, are there any plastic coating sprays available in places like Canadian Tire Useful? So there is very similar to those Tire Shine, but it's a plastic and trim protectant. I wouldn't suggest the Armor All brand, but there are other brands out there. I believe there was McGuire's is one of the good ones there that you can use in Canadian Tire. They do have something that can protect those plastic finishes. What is a typical cost for tinting windows on a Model 3, and how long does it typically take? So with us here, we work primarily with the Expel brand. So we have two series. We have the Prime CS series and we have the XR series. The XR series is one of our more higher end model lines where it's a ceramic film where it actually rejects a lot of the heat coming in. And so normally we charge $550 for a typical for Model 3 for the side windows and the back window. And the back window, it is quite large, so we actually do that in one piece, so you don't see any lines or seams in that window. But there is the Prime CS where it doesn't give as good of a heat rejection on the car, so it's just more for privacy. And for that one, we do charge $400 for that. Next one. What is the price for minor paint correction and a colored wrap for a Model 3? So we don't do vinyl wraps here at our shop in particular. We may venture in that eventually if there's enough requests for it. But usually for minor paint corrections, I've seen shops where they've been charging from, I would say, $300 to $500. We do charge $450, but for Tesla Club owners, we do give a 10% discount on that. And at the end of the day, it really depends on the condition the car, the condition is to begin with. So a lot of the times I would always suggest it's best to have a consult so we can actually see in person. Like we do get pictures here and there, but sometimes it's hard to tell where you can kind of give a rough ballpark, but seeing it in person will give you an accurate quote. And in terms of colored wrap, depending on the place that you go to, I've been hearing vinyl wraps as low as $2,000, but could go up to $6,000 depending on the shop at the end of the day. Next question. I currently have PPF on my Model 3 hood. Do have a pretty nasty stone chip through the PPF and underlying paint. Would Inception be a one-stop shop to remove the existing film, fix the chips, and reapply PPF? Yes, we can do all of that. I do have to say for the chips, it depends on how bad that chip is in particular, because we're not a body shop. We can only fill certain chips to a certain extent, but the one disadvantage when it comes to just filling in the chip, when you, let's say, dab the paint on the actual chip, when you fill it, you may have a bit of like a pimple or a bump on the spot because it's not entirely flat. So we give owners two options where we can fill it. It may not be the cleanest install, or just leave it as is and layer on top of it. At least it's protected and you won't accumulate any chips further from there. But the other option is you can also repaint that area, which I don't always suggest unless it's really needed. Next, if a customer asks for a partial PPF, what areas would you recommend as essential? Definitely the front bumper, the headlights, the fog lights, the mirror areas. The partial, we do have an option where you can cover a part of the fender, it covers about a quarter to a third of it, and the hood area roughly the same as well too. So those are the more common ones. But we do have options for the full front end coverage where you don't see those lines in between. So it's a very clean install. But the other thing I would also suggest as essential, I would say, are the rocker panels, which is the side skirts of the car.
Lorenzo, sorry, just to
Yeah.
chime in here. Trevor Page has put a note in Pigeonhole. I thought it'd be kind of timely to say this right now, that he said he highly recommends that the new Model Y owners get PPF on the rear doors. This is on the Model Y specifically.
Yeah.
The design of the car is such that it picks up a lot of road debris and sandblasts them. So do you have any minimum for what you'll do if somebody just wanted those rear door areas? Would you do that, or?
Well, I know I've been looking at the pattern cuts available for the rocker panels for the Model Y, because I know Tesla has something on the website that you can get as an option. But in terms of the pattern cuts for Expel, they don't have that. But they do have an actual extended on the lower end, because I know on the Model Ys there's that little curved areas where there's that line close to the bottom where we can cover that, and it's actually a much more coverage than the ones that you actually get from Tesla.
But if somebody only wanted that, you would be fine with that, just doing the two rocker panels?
Oh yeah, we can do that. So normally we do have it available as a kit. So you'll also get the front doors, the rear doors, but also a part of the rear bumper as well. So it's a complete kit. And then normally we charge $399, so $400 for that. But if there are owners where they just want to get those back two doors done, the cost will be half for sure. So it'll be $200 for those, and then it's like a longer strip for that, rather than that similar cut that you'll see on the Tesla website. Okay,
great, thanks.
Yeah. The next question here is, what is your recommendation to repair a larger size paint chip? My car is a Model S P85D. So for this one in particular, it really depends as to where and what are your expectations. So what I always say, well, you could always fill it up with touch up paint and call it a day. Might not be the cleanest repair, but it's very cost effective, and it makes it less noticeable, because otherwise for larger size ones, if you really want the cleanest job, it's really just repainting that area there. My Model 3 is now 2 years old. Is it too late to get PPF? What do you think of ceramic coating at this stage too? Can you give us an idea of the cost for both? So I know I believe there was another question that was in similar. So at the end of the day, it really depends on the condition to begin with. A lot of times it's just best for us to actually do an in-person consult for these cases, because there are times where I'll actually talk you out of doing all of this, just because it might not be worth it, right? But that being said, in terms of idea on cost, we do have the partial front end kits available for $1,000, where it's the bumper, the partial hood, fender, the mirror, the headlights, but we also do door handles and luggage strip as well too. But obviously, if there's more work being done, we can always we're pretty flexible here, and then we'll do the best as we can to work with your budget as well, where we can bundle a lot of things as well too. But having an in-person consult, I would highly recommend that for this case. Next, my passenger window rattles a bit when closing. Tesla doesn't want to fix and said it's because of the tint. Is this a valid point? My experience, no, it's not a valid point, because when it comes to the window tint, it's a very thin film where you're just layering it over the glass. I know that we do have the frameless windows, and just from experience, I've actually never heard of an answer like this from Tesla. And we've done a lot of the vehicles here. I probably lost count myself as to how many windows we've done here, but yeah, there's no way a tint will affect the rattling of a window for sure. So
Lorenzo, I'll just jump in there. I have a Model X, and mine rattles too when the door closes. I had the mobile team come out. My windows are tinted from you, and they he didn't mention anything at all. They fix it, but it's doing it again. So it may be a recurring problem. So whoever sent this out, I would just push Tesla on it, and if necessary, send me an email and I'll see if I can help you out.
Sounds good. Next one, is the Armor All tire shine or similar products in the market purely cosmetic, or does it enhance the rubber compound in any way? It's all cosmetic, helps keep it clean. But one thing though, I would avoid Armor All just because their products are more chemical based, which is silicone based. So they actually attract a lot more dust and it gets dirty a lot quicker over time. It's good for short term, for photos or for the next day or two. But if you'd like to use more environmentally friendly products, I definitely use water-based tire shine for that. And then I believe McGuire's and Canadian Tire, they do have that available. But I would suggest just reading the product labels, and then if you see it say water-based, those are the ones that I would actually recommend. Next, what products should I use for cleaning and conditioning white seats on a Model S 2018? So any leather cleaner protector product that you can actually find in Canadian Tire, they'll all work. But at the end of the day, I know the white seats are very high maintenance, so having that consistency and a fixed schedule. I have a white Model 3 myself with white interior. I clean mine every week. On the car, especially for the white seats, and they do get quite dirty easily. So if left neglected, it's very hard to clean over time, because sometimes our clothes, we may have dyes under our jeans where you get the jean dye transfer. If it's there for too long, where it dries off, it's hard to remove. So cleaning it while it's still fresh, that's the best maintenance. Next one, what kind of detailing should be done to a car's paint in the 2+ year mark after ceramic coating was applied? If small surface have appeared, what can be done to remedy this? So usually at least once a year, if you already have your preferred detailer, visit them at least once a year just after winter time, just because it would be nice to clean off all that salt and grime that we do get on the roads. And then depending on how much the car's been driven, for the ones who drive a lot, like every day, doing it once or twice a week is enough in terms of maintenance. Because usually with ceramic coating, it helps keep the car a lot cleaner, so it doesn't because the dirt doesn't sling onto the paint as much. So next, I know it says here, if small surface scratches have appeared, what can be done to remedy this? So usually a lot of those are surface swirl marks on the ceramic coating and on the clear coat. You could do a bit of a light polish. So wherever you got your ceramic coating done, you can ask them to do a light polish in that area and reapply a coating on that area as well. Next one, can a red 2016 Model S still benefit from a paint correction package? If you definitely want to restore the car's shine, yes, it can be done. But at the end of the day, if you're keeping the car for a while, it is worth it. But if you're ready to, or if you're going to be selling it, it's definitely nice to get it done as well, because to the eyes of the potential buyer, it will show that car is very well maintained. So it helps hold the resale value for the car. Next question. I have a scratch on the rear bumper of my red 2016 Model S. The metal is showing, but it's not dented. Can this be fixed through paint correction? So one thing just to clarify, the bumpers on our cars are not metal, but they're polyurethane plastic. So if it looks like it's a white or grayish color, that's probably the primer that's showing. And paint correction will not fix this. Only a repaint will fix this. Plans to open another location in Durham. We do actually have been exploring that, because there's actually not a authorized Expel installer in that area. So under the Expel website, if you look at their installer listing, there's not one there. So that's something that we have been exploring as well too. But we do have plans for expansion in the Kitchener, KW Tri-City area. But we've recently expanded here in Oakville at our new shop. And then so once we're fully settled here, that's when we will be looking to expanding in those other locations as well. General comments on getting marks off seats and hard plastic surfaces like the glove box, door problem area, magic, gasoline. Well, when it comes to the hard plastic surfaces, a lot of it is wear and tear. So the best you can do is clean it and treat it with a conditioner where it helps restore the color. But if the plastic is actually scratched, there's really not much we can do on that, just because it's actually wear and tear. Yeah, so that's how it is. Next one, which brand of ceramic coating do you apply at your location? So we actually use a product called 22PLE. There are other brands out there, but I've been personally using this product for the last 8-9 years now, since 2012. And I can tell from firsthand world experience that the product does actually works and does what it's intended, as long it's been properly maintained. How do we maintain our cars when they have ceramic coating applied? So all it is just a hand wash and dry. You don't need to put any wax on top of it, just because you already have the ceramic coating on it. Occasionally, you can probably ask your detailer if they have those topper sprays that you can apply after, which helps maintain the longevity. So they may be able to provide it for you. So next one, curious about options and those of us who didn't go with the PPF ceramic route and the 3 years into ownership and would like to do some correction. Same thing as I've mentioned in the other questions. Feel free to come swing by for a consult. Tell us what your intentions are in terms of your ownership, whether if you're going to keep it for a while, sell it. We can definitely give you some options into that. And that's about it. Is there any other questions, John?
Let me just fill in for John real quick here. There was a question about, do you fix rim rash?
No, we don't. So there is a good place that I know in Aurora called Carconi's. They do rim refinishing, but they also do powder coating as well too. So for the owners who'd like to change their rims to a different color, I would recommend that place. And I believe they charge $125 or $150 a rim, somewhere around that price range.
Is there any opinion on Chemical Guys products?
Oh, they're fantastic. So when I was starting off detailing, so this was back in 2008, 2007. I've used them for a long time, and even when I started the business 10 years ago, those were the first brand of products that I actually used, and they're fantastic products, no complaints, and highly recommend them.
Good. I think that's it. There's a couple of comments in here about, would you like to do the first and second roadster in Ontario?
Well, we've actually done, we've done quite the number of roadsters here as well too, through Tesla Vokeville here. So we do have experience working on the first gen, and then when the second gen comes out, I'd be more than willing to work with that as well too. So, but we did our first Cybertruck, but in terms of the Hot Wheels remote control, that was an interesting one to work on. But one thing I can say for the ones who's actually looking to get the Cybertruck, so this particular owner, so he gave me the scale model here to try it on and put PPF on it. I do see later on when the actual truck comes out, they're going to be very vinyl friendly. So for the ones who would like to change their trucks to a different color, vinyl wrap will definitely it's going to be definitely easy to do on those trucks.
Oh, that's interesting. I was thinking that stainless steel surface might not be conducive to that. That's good to know.
Well, I think there was Elon or somebody from Tesla. I do recall somebody mentioning it that you can vinyl wrap the truck. I'm sure John could probably find that link somewhere, or I could find a link to that. But I did hear something like that.
Oh, that's awesome. John, that's all the questions that we had in Pigeonhole for Lorenzo here. Do you want to take over?
A couple of just comments that we are working on some new activities, as you can probably imagine. We mentioned this to you before. It's doing it again. Can you guys see me?
Yeah.
Yeah, John, you're coming in fine.
Well, my computer is going ape, so I won't be able to last you very long. We are working on the drive-in event for the fall. We've got a few other things lined up. We've got some great, interesting guest speakers that we're trying to confirm. The people who's got a pretty busy schedule, so we're trying to nail that down. A couple of our sponsors have talked about coming on. We've also had some people approach us about the idea of sort of setting up rooms where we could have different discussions going on like we would at a live chapter meeting. So we're working on all these type of things. There's a couple of different products that Zoom has that enable those type of things. So stay tuned for that. I also want to let you know that in the very near future, a survey is going to come out. Tesla themselves has sent out a survey that they want all club members, or as many as they can, to answer, just to do with their club experience, their ownership experience, and that type of thing. So look for that from me. And other than that, that's about it.
There was, because you probably can't see it, there's one more question in Pigeonhole that you might want to talk to, and that is, could you address the ordering situation with clothing? Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I forgot about that. So basically, just to clear up, and we actually said this in our emails, maybe you didn't see this, that we're not basically putting orders in on demand. We gather the orders every month, and at the end of the month, they're submitted so they can be produced at the same time, because we're not ordering enough volume to sort of be able to just produce, all of a sudden 50 T-shirts here and 25 hats there. So basically, we've gathered now anything that was put into April, and it's been sent into production, and you'll see those shipped out in the next week or two. So just keep that in mind. If you were to order the beginning of the month, it's going to take, almost a full month to get that order. If you're to order at the end of the month, it only may take a week or two. So we are well aware of it. Please be patient as you work out some of these glitches with the online shop, but I think you're going to be pleased with what you see. And just if you need some clarification, just go back to the emails that we sent out when we announced the shop, but just to give some clarity there. Was there anything else, Mike, on Pigeonhole?
Nope. There was a comment about somebody's getting calls for the new computers on a 2016 Model S for FSD. Just, I think
that's kind of interesting. So they were just basically saying, is anybody else getting those calls? It'd be interesting if you are, maybe send us an email and we'll let people know. But other than that, appreciate it. This is probably one of our, I'm going to get a chuckle out of Anise here, probably one of our shortest meetings we've ever had. And we will see you next month. And everybody enjoy the fabulous weather we're having and get your cars cleaned. And hopefully we come out of the lockdown pretty soon and we can gather together in some way, shape, or form, especially as we lead into the fall, like I said, in the drive-in. And, maybe we'll get out to one of the new test facilities and things like that. So again, we're always there. If you have any questions, any suggestions for us, most of you have my email, jdixon@teslaownersclub.ca or info@teslaownersclub.ca. Follow us on social media. Keep your comments coming in about the newsletter and that type of thing. And I am trying to get my act in gear to get the podcast going back again. So I'm not going to make any promises, but we're certainly going to try that. And again, thanks very much, Murray. Big shout out to Murray and welcome again to Elia. So that's all we got, everybody. Short and sweet. Thanks very much. Night.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, John. Good night.